After hearing that his ex-wife had returned and wanted to finalize their divorce under the condition of splitting their assets, including the house he had worked so hard to build, An-na-ja couldn't stand it. The thought of giving up what he had painstakingly created only to see it taken from him by someone who had already caused him so much pain was unbearable. His determination burned fiercely. He wouldn't let himself be bowled over by fate. He couldn't let her have control over his life, not after everything she had put him through. With resolve in his heart, An-jae set off to confront his ex-wife at her family's home, ready to face the woman who once stood by his side, but had now become his greatest adversary. How will An-jae handle this confrontation? What lies ahead in this emotional and tense showdown? Stay tuned for the dramatic twists and turns in this intense chapter of their lives. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell to catch all the latest updates. The morning air was crisp and refreshing, as if the world itself was waking up to a new beginning. Maya, still peacefully asleep inside, was completely unaware of the day unfolding outside, but Huyen was already up tending to the vine-covered trellis in the garden, carefully harvesting a few ripe fresh gourds for the family meal. There was a quiet sense of satisfaction as she moved through her morning routine, the simplicity of the moment offering her a kind of peace she hadn't felt in a long time. Just as she was finishing up, An-jae approached quietly, his steps slow but purposeful. He gently told Huyen that he needed to visit his ex-wife's family to settle everything once and for all. "I'll go handle things with my ex today," he said, his voice calm but resolute. "You and Maya stay here. I'll get it sorted quickly so we can move forward together legally." Huyen turned to look at him, understanding immediately what he meant. She could see the weight of the situation in his eyes. He was about to face a difficult confrontation, one that carried the burden of his past, and it was clear he wasn't looking forward to it. "Please stay calm," Huyen advised him, her voice gentle yet firm. "Don't let your anger get the best of you. Approach this with sincerity. You have to be kind, no matter what." She paused, her eyes softening with concern before continuing. "I know you and your ex no longer have feelings for each other, but this land is still in both of your names. Handle it with care, An-jae. For your sake, and for everyone's." An-jae felt the weight of her words, the concern in her tone pulling at his heart. He gently nodded, a quiet promise in his eyes. "I will," he said softly. "I'll stay calm and do what's right. I'll handle it. Thank you for believing in me." With a final nod, he turned and left the weight of the conversation lingering in the air. Huyen stood still for a moment, watching him go, her heart heavy with worry. She only hoped that the confrontation would go smoothly, and that the peace they'd fought so hard for wouldn't be torn apart by the past. After An-jae left, Huyen sat in silence, her mind swirling with thoughts and worries. She couldn't shake the uncertainty of what was to come. Would everything go the way she hoped? Would An-jae's ex-wife make things difficult for her and their little family? The weight of the unknown pressed down on her chest, her stomach tight with anxiety. The land they were living on was still in both An-jae and his ex-wife's name, and the thought of her showing up and complicating things filled Huyen with dread. If that happened, she'd feel like an outsider, like the third wheel in a situation she didn't belong in. She couldn't let that happen. Determined not to stay in the house, she decided to leave for her old home. She would wait there out of the way until Jae finished handling everything. Then she would share her thoughts, her feelings, and figure out what their next steps would be. So with a heavy heart, she packed up and took Maya with her to the new job she had just found. Today she'd be washing dishes at a local restaurant, a small but necessary job to help make ends meet. It wasn't glamorous, but it was a start. And right now, all she could do was take things one step at a time, hoping that soon her life would find its balance again. After Jae arrived at his ex-wife's parents' house, he walked in and greeted them. His ex-mother-in-law was visibly happy to see him, likely because of the kindness and respect he had always shown to their family. NJ began the conversation with a heavy heart, explaining that he had come to resolve an important issue. But first, he apologized for not visiting more often since his ex-wife had left. He knew he should have been more present, but the weight of the past had kept him distant. His father-in-law, though, saddened, reassured him. "We're sorry too, son. Our daughter left for the wrong reasons, chasing wealth and abandoning you. We know you were always a good man, and we regret how things turned out." His ex-mother-in-law also expressed her sadness. She knew Jae was a hard-working, decent man, but her daughter Tui had chosen to follow another man, one who promised her the riches she'd been seeking. She was heartbroken by the decision, but she couldn't force Tui to come back. Jae, despite his pain, continued explaining that Tui had come back and left a letter for him. In the letter, Tui demanded that they finalize their divorce with the condition of splitting their assets. The news shocked both of Tui's parents. They couldn't believe that their daughter had made such a selfish demand, especially after everything that had happened. Her father, feeling the weight of the situation, agreed with Jae. He admitted that their family was broken and it was time to put an end to this chapter for good. The atmosphere in the room was thick with emotion. For Jae, the weight of the past was finally catching up with him. He had hoped for resolution, but hearing the truth from his ex-in-laws only deepened his resolve to settle everything with Tui once and for all. Jae, frustrated by his inability to reach Tui through her old phone number, decided to ask his ex-wife's mother for her new contact details. With the new number in hand, he dialed, hoping for a resolution. When Tui finally picked up her voice, though distant, revealed a certain calmness. She confessed that she knew about Jae's new relationship with Huyen. Without hesitation, she told him that if he truly wanted a divorce, she would accept it and abide by the conditions outlined in the letter she'd left for him. Jae. His emotions tangled between years of hurt and the hope for closure, responded, "I just want you to let me go. If you do that, if you truly release me, I'll accept any terms you want." His words were heavy with years of silence and a longing for freedom. The phone call ended abruptly, and Jae was left with a sense of finality that he had been seeking for so long. Meanwhile, Tui's parents, who had been quietly listening in the background, were filled with shame and regret over their daughter's actions. They apologized once more, the weight of their daughter's choices evident in their words. But for Jae, the apology felt hollow. He had already moved on, both emotionally and mentally. He no longer had the energy to be bogged down by guilt or regret. All he wanted was closure, to finally put the past behind him. After a few parting words, he left the house of his ex-in-laws, feeling as though a significant chapter of his life was finally coming to an end. He was done looking back. His focus was now on moving forward with Huyen, and nothing else mattered. After Anjay returned home, he found Huyen and Maya still caught up in their new routines. Wanting to create a sense of warmth and togetherness, he decided to prepare a delicious meal for the three of them. He imagined the joy of them all gathering around the table, sharing a moment of love and happiness after their long day. At the restaurant where Huyen worked, Maya sat quietly in a corner, content to let her mother focus on her job. Huyen, ever the hard worker, pushed through the day with a single-minded determination. She wanted a better life for herself and her daughter, a life that was simple but full of possibility. Finally, after a long day, Huyen finished her shift and made her way home. When she walked in, the first thing she saw was Anjay, busy setting the table waiting for her and Maya to return. The simple joy of that moment, the love and the warmth of their small family was all that mattered. The exhaustion of the day melted away in an instant. During dinner, Anjay shared the news with Huyen about the situation with his ex-wife. He explained that Tui had agreed to finalize their divorce, but it seemed that he would have to sell their house and land in the process. Huyen listened intently, offering him comfort. "Right now, we don't need anything fancy," she said softly. "Let's go back to my old house. It may not be filled with the best memories, but with you by my side, I already feel happy." Despite the challenges ahead, Huyen remained hopeful. Would the divorce process go smoothly, or would more obstacles arise for their family? To find out what happens next, make sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications for all the latest updates.
Vợ cũ của anh Đệ đã trở về nhà và điều kiện bất ngờ. Đầy lòng tham của vợ cũ anh Đệ thì bạn thì ta mới đồng ý chấp nhận ly hôn. Thì như vậy anh Huyền và Đệ mới chính thức được đến với nhau. Chào mừng trở lại với kênh của tôi. Thì sau nhiều năm tháng mà anh Đệ đã bị người vợ cũ bỏ rơi, đi theo tiếng gọi của đồng tiền, và người vợ cũ đấy đã đi theo người đàn ông khác và bỏ rơi anh Đệ sau bao nhiêu năm. Tuy nhiên, sau những tháng ngày vất vả, người vợ của anh Đệ biết rằng anh Đệ đã trở về quê hương và đã có một người mới. Thì mụ ta đã ra một yêu cầu rất là vô lý dành cho anh Đệ. Mụ ta muốn rằng anh Đệ phải chia một nửa tài sản cho mình thì mụ ta mới chấp nhận ly hôn. Bởi vì chấp nhận ly hôn thì anh Đệ mới chính thức đến được với Huyền, vì họ thật sự yêu thương nhau. Họ muốn đến với nhau thì phải có kết hôn. Tuy nhiên bây giờ họ đang sống trong ngôi nhà cũ của anh Đệ, và hiện tại thì cuộc sống vẫn chưa ổn định. Thì vợ cũ quay về và muốn anh Đệ bán ngôi nhà này và chia đôi tài sản với cô ta, thì cô ta mới đồng ý ly hôn. Sau đó thì Huyền cũng đã suy nghĩ và nói với anh Đệ rằng bây giờ họ sẽ trở về ngôi nhà cũ của Huyền với chồng cũ, vì người chồng cũ đã đi tù, và tạm thời họ có thể cùng nhau sinh sống tại ngôi nhà cũ của Huyền, và sau này họ có thể bán ngôi nhà này đi để hoàn tất thủ tục ly hôn với người vợ cũ. diễn ra tiếp theo như thế nào, hãy cùng đón xem nhé.